Staying with the Benin, we're looking at the altar to the hand and arm. Now, this symbolizes the centrality of the sacred king in Benin society. This is demonstrated in a shrine called an ikegobo. And in this case, specifically the altar to hand and arm from the 17th or 18th century. And what we see is a hierarchical composition focusing on the king. The king is always in the center in this imagery. We know that the most important person is there in the center. It's similar to the concept of hierarchy of scale that we see elsewhere. On the top, we see the king flanked by attendants and leopards. And so our king is right in the center, and then these two quadruped figures on either side are leopards, symbols of power within the Benin. And again, we see the emphasis on the head, specifically an enlarged forehead. Now, we're seeing that amongst the Benin because they see the king and rulers as needing to have wisdom, and what better way to symbolize wisdom than through an enlarged head? So this is intentional. This is not a lack of ability or anything along those lines. In fact, we see the same thing in 19th century American art, for example, when we look at Thomas Aiken's Gross Clinic, where he shines a light on the forehead of Dr. Gross. And this altar is personal for sacrifices made by the king. It's a metal altar. It would be heated up, and then things could be, for example, various incense, etc., could be set on it, and it would turn into smoke. We also see symbols such as rams, elephants, and crocodiles, which are to reiterate royal power, each one being symbolic of various elements of royalty or of power. The ram, of course, being very stubborn and willing to fight. The elephant, particularly strong. The crocodile, seen as wily. So each of these has particular symbolism. And again, it's the sort of thing we see throughout art.